Good afternoon, everyone. We are gathered here today for the pre-bid conference for goods and services under invitation to bid number 2025-004. We are live via our YouTube channel, DPWH Davao de Oro First DEO Procurement LS. In compliance to the Department Order Number 6, Series of 2024, which direct us to live stream for procurement activities for accountability and transparency of procurement processes. But before we proceed, may I ask the BAC Secretariat to please acknowledge all who are present, including observers, if there's any, for today's activity.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Acknowledging the presence of those who are present here in today's activity. Presiding today are BAC Vice Chairperson, Sir Engineer Rico Arvin, along with the BAC members, Provisional Members, Sir Engineer John Jeffrey D. Marcos, Provisional Member Ma'am Esther O. Loren. From the BAC DWG, headed by Ma'am Engineer Febby Grace A. Magadan, together with Ma'am Josie B. Arellano, Sir Engineer Jonathan V. Soy Baguio,
Present.
Sir Archulito P. Sirput Sr., and Sir Engineer Renz Casila. From the BAC Secretariat, headed by Ma'am Engineer Maria Shelby Esucia, present, together with Ma'am Berlin M. Menendez. Also, Mr. Chair, in compliance with Section 13.1 of the revised IRR of RA number 9184, the Bids and Awards Committee has sent notice of procurement activities to the following observers who may attend and observe all stages of the procurement: to the Commission of Audit representative of this office, to the Nalbunturan Chamber of Commerce Incorporated, a specific relevant chamber of the PCCI, to the Nambunturan Integrated Cooperative, an NGO, and also to the Crime and Corruption Watch International Incorporated, CCWI. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Ruby Jean Britannia. Since the majority of BAC members are present here today, so we are in quorum, and hereby declare this pre-bid conference for goods and services in order. We have precept agenda for this pre-bid conference for goods. Number 1, brief presentation of the contract to be procured, which includes basic contract data, requirements of bidding documents, documents to be submitted by the bidder, technical and financial components of the bid, criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, status of ongoing projects and awards. 3, strike policy. Number 2, question, comments from the bidders and reply of the BAC and other representative of procuring entity. Number 3, summary proceeding including supplemental bids bulletin to be issued. And number 4, other matters. Any motion for matters to be included in the agenda? If there is none, may I know the pleasure of the body? I move to adopt the agenda of the conference.
I second the motion.
It has been moved by Engineer John Jeffrey Marcos and seconded by Ms. Esther Loriho, and with no objection, the motion to adopt this agenda is hereby approved. First, the order of the business is explanation of basic contract data will be presented to us by Ms. Esther Loriho from Supply Unit.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. For contract ID 24GLA0007, PR number 2024-10-111, dated October 17, 2024. Contract name, supply and delivery of IT equipment, latter printer for use in the office of the DPWH Davao de Oro, first DEO, Napunturan, Davao de Oro, for CY 2024 fourth quarter. Contract location, first DEO ng Davao de Oro. Brief description of goods to be procured. Platter, large format printer, 36 inches. Approved budget for the contract or ABC is 2 million. Source of funds, EL FY 2024. Delivery date of goods, 20 calendar days. Cost of bid documents is 5,000. That's all, sir.
This is the technical specification of the product to be procured, Mr. Vice Chair. The viewer can pause and read these technical specifications.
Thank you, Engineer Shelby Opia and Ms. Esther Loriho, for your brief explanation for the supply items to be procured. Next, in order of business is the requirement of the bidding documents. Documents to be submitted by the bidders, criteria and procedure for the eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, status of ongoing projects and awards, and the three-strike policy, which will be presented through audiovisual presentation.
The bidding documents. To participate and qualify in our procurement activity, interested bidders are required to read the following documents. 1. Instruction to bidders. 2. Bid data sheet. 3. General conditions of the contract. 4. Special conditions of the contract. 5. Bill of quantities. 6. Drawings and specifications, if there is any. All documents mentioned are all uploaded to the PhilDeps and DPWH websites. A complete set of bidding documents may be acquired by interested bidders upon payment of the applicable fee for the bidding documents from the Procurement Unit of DPWH Davao de Oro 1st District Engineering Office, Nabunturan, Davao de Oro. It may also be downloaded free of charge from the PhilDeps and DPWH websites, provided that the bidders shall pay the applicable fee for the bid documents not later than the deadline of the submission of the bids. Bidders are strongly advised to read each provisions because specific instructions that must be submitted and required are clearly incorporated in the instruction to bidders and the general conditions of the contract. Documents to be submitted by the bidder's technical component of the bid. 1. DTI or SEC Certificate of Registration. 2. Valid mayor's permit. 3. Statement of ongoing government or private projects, including contracts recently awarded but not yet started. 4. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or contracts that is similar to the contract to be bid of at least 50% of the ABC. 5. Computation of net financial contracting capacity. 6. Audited financial statement duly received by the BIR. 7. Income tax return filed in the preceding year and paid through BIR electronic filing and payment system. 8. Tax clearance. 9. Bid security, technical specification. 10. Delivery schedule. 11. Warranty security, if applicable. 12. Brochures of the offered equipment, if applicable. 13. Omnibus sworn statement, 10 items, in accordance to revised GPPB form. 14. Secretary's certificate and board resolution, if applicable. Financial component of the bid. 1. Bid form. 2. Duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. 3. Detailed estimate, including summary sheet documents, must be current and updated at the time to bidding. Failure to attach any of the requirement or any missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient documents in the mentioned checklist is a ground for outright rejection of the bid or will fall as non-compliant. Criteria and procedure for eligibility. Check. Preliminary examination of bids. Detailed evaluation of bids. Post-qualification. Status of ongoing projects and awards. Bidders shall submit all required documents in 2 envelope system. 1 envelope containing 3 envelopes. First envelope containing original copy of the technical and financial components of the bid. Second envelope contains copy 1, which are the certified true copy of the technical and financial components of the bid. And third envelope contains copy 2, which are also certified true copy of the technical and financial components of the bid. The entries in the bill of quantities shall be handwritten and shall be signed by the duly authorized representative. Bid prices shall be limited to 2 decimal places only. During the opening of the bids, the BAC, with the assistance of the BAC Technical Working Group, will conduct detailed bid evaluation of all the bids using non-discretionary criteria, wherein it requires the completeness of the bid. The bidders must meet the following eligibility requirements. 1. Submission of the valid and up-to-date required technical and financial documents. 2. The cost of the bidder's SLCC is at least 50% of the ABC of the project to be procured. 3. The bidder's NFCC is at least equal to ABC of the project to be procured. Bidders with lowest bid during the opening of the bids is not guaranteed to be awarded for the contract. All bid documents are still subjected to detailed bid evaluation and post-qualification with the assistance of the BAC TWG. Once post-qualified, the bidder will be declared as the lowest calculated or responsive bid and will be subsequently awarded the contract.
3-strike policy in the procurement of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services contract. In order to establish a fair and transparent system for managing offenses committed by bidders in the procurement of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services projects through public bidding, the Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH, hereby introduces an updated 3-strike policy. Classification of offenses that triggers the 3-strike policy and exception. Withdrawal from the bidding process, submission of non-participation letter, or failure to submit a bid after purchasing the bid documents. Submission of late bids without valid reasons, as determined by the BAC. Submission of patently insufficient bid. A patently insufficient bid refers to a bid that fails to include or comply with certain mandatory requirements. The determination of whether a bidder committed such an offense may occur as outlined below. During eligibility screening and/or shortlisting, submission of an expired certificate of Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System registration, platinum membership, or a certificate of PhilGPS certification containing expired Class A legal and financial documents, as determined during the eligibility screening. Failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum vitae in the application for eligibility and shortlisting, which are evaluated during the shortlisting for consulting services projects. During bid evaluation, failure to submit required bid forms, as outlined in Annex C detailing the complete list of required bid forms. Submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to the non-inclusion and/or omission of mandatory provisions and statements for the required bid forms, as per Annex C outlining the mandatory provisions of required forms. Submission of an unnotarized bid securing declaration, an omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement, or statements from all the potential joint venture partners, with the exception during the declaration of state of calamity, or implementation of community quarantine or similar restrictions declared or being implemented either in the locality of the procuring entity, PE, or of the bidder. Submission of the bid form, price schedules, bid securing declaration, omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement, JVA, without the name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. During post-qualification, participation in bidding for consulting services or good and services contracts by a bidder whose business type category, as indicated on the mayor's permit, does not match or unrelated to the contract being bid for, as determined during post-qualification process. Participation in bidding for infrastructure projects by a bidder whose allowable range of contract costs, as indicated on the PCAB license, does not match with the specific requirements of the infrastructure project being bid for in terms of category, classifications, and size ranges. Enforcement and penalties. If a bidder commits any of the three major offenses acts listed above 3 times within a year, starting from the approval date of the resolution recommending the imposition of strike 1, first warning, which is counted as day 1 through day 365. And if these 3 offenses are of a similar or identical nature, it will trigger the enforcement of the stipulated administrative penalty: suspension from participating in all DPWH procurement activities and entering into contract with any DPWH procuring entity. Subsequently, as per the procedure outlined in Annex A, this may result in the blacklisting of the suspended bidder, thereby disqualifying the bidder from participating in any government procurement activities for a period of 1 year. In conjunction with blacklisting, the bidder will also face bid security forfeiture and must comply with the enforcement of the bid securing declaration's conditions.
We are now done with agenda number 1 and its subsection. We will now proceed with agenda number 2, which is the question, comments from interested bidders and reply of the BAC. Is there any question or comments from the bidders interested? How about from our online viewers?
There is none, Mr. Vice Chair.
Yeah. Hearing none, we will now proceed to the last agenda, which is the summary of proceeding, including supplemental bids bulletin to be issued, which will be discussed by Ms. Berlin L. Melendez from the Procurement Unit.
All the needed information were discussed and well explained by all the resource persons. I would like to remind the interested bidders to visit from time to time the projects and DPWH websites, especially 7 days before the opening of bids, for possible issuance of supplemental bid bulletins. The deadline of the submission of bids will be on or before November 19, 2024 until 9 a.m. The opening of the bids will be conducted in the second floor conference room, DPWH Davao de Oro, 1st District Engineering Office, Nabuntaran, Davao de Oro. Bids shall be addressed to the BAC chairperson, Ms. Catherine M. Sangria, DPWH Davao de Oro, 1st District Engineering Office, Nabuntaran, Davao de Oro. Please take note that the submission of bids of goods and services should be done manually. there is no electronic bid submission. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, ma'am. All of the business in the agenda were already taken into consideration. May I now the pleasure of the body?
I move to adjourn the regular conference.
I second the motion.
It has been moved by Engineer John Jeffrey Marcos and seconded by Ms. Esther Lorijo, and with no objection, this private conference for goods is now adjourned.